Welcome back to Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man. Dragon Slayer 2 is what we're going to do. We've discovered what we need to do in order to get the key pieces to open up a obvious Dragonkin laboratory door, behind which is apparently a weapon to destroy the world. But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to go open it up. To do that, we've got 4 pieces of the key to find. A variety of challenges stand in our way. The first of which will be the largest, since we want to have as much inventory space as possible. And lugging around 3/4 of keys, taking up precious inventory spaces in a boss fight, not the best strategy. And so, we need to get stuff out of the looting bag. Stand in the wilderness. Destroy. Contents will be lost. Counted on it. Ah yes, we have item stuff. We got ground item text on. Only for expensive things, which is the 30 mil of stuff that we just dropped on the floor. And some Arantil. Perfect. Okay. I don't think I need the Dragon Mace anymore, so I'll probably just alch that. But lots of the stuff in here is going to be necessary. Specifically, the range equipment. Because the first fight we're doing, range is our best bet. We dropped a spine body. Fascinating. The quest is Dragon Slayer 2. So we're fighting a dragon. And to fight a dragon, we need anti-fires. So here is a Lantidime. Already in the correct dungeon to go grab the blue dragon scale. And then it's just outside my house portal in Taverley. We can get a vial of water, pestle and mortar, and we're laughing. No Lantidime seed planted in a protected herb patch. I can just go grab a Lantidime whenever I want. That'd be too easy. So instead, we're here. Got a lot of different things in the inventory, which we need to still deal with. But for the most part, we're good to go here. Wrong druid. We need to talk to Jagex. 1 anti-fire. Coming right up. No need to boost. No need to worry. We have 78 herb lore. And this only needs 69. So, that is checked off the list. The equipment's all prepared. Now we just need the inventory. Brews and super restores. The amount of healing that this will give is substantial. Unnote the brews. Drop 2. Equip the rest of the gear. Unnote the restores. Rest of the potions in the looting bag. And here we go. 6 brews, 17 restores, anti-fire, super anti-poison, bolt pouch, because I want to keep the broad bolts on me. Diamond bolts E, ruby bolts E, ranged equipment, anti-dragon shield, the ranger hat, because it has better total magic and range defense. Quick prayers set to protect from range, steel skin, and eagle eye. I think we're ready. The first of the 4 key pieces over in Roleka. To get there, we'll do as we always do. Come over to Lunar Isle, talk to somebody, get kicked off, and we are right where we want to be. We are looking for the first one here, the Dragonkin Fortress, northwest of Roleka. If anyone's going to know about what's going on in the Roleka area, it is the chief. So let's see what he has to say. Looking for a Dragonkin Fortress. How are things? Oh, they could be better. We're gonna go mess with a Doomsday weapon. Can you help us with that? An island north of here with an ancient fortress. Have you heard of it? It's called Ungale. A dark place guarded by a deadly beast. Their finest warriors have failed to take it down. Do we intend to fight it? I think so. If it's there, I guess. It's no easy task, but glory awaits us if we succeed. We should talk to Torfin on the docks. He can bring us there. Alright, here we go. Torfin. Right here. From Nick Sailor. Appropriate. Chieftain says you can take me to Ungale. He can, but we really need to know this is dangerous. It's guarded by a deadly force that spits fire. Sounds like some fire protection might be useful. Am I ready? I guess. Here we go. Void is an option, but we only have a rune crossbow, so going for more of just the straight range accuracy here. Also, not using range potions, since I'm using the brews constantly. This is about what we can get away with. Starting with ruby bolts, then we can switch to diamond bolts here in the equipment menu. And here it is. Vorkath. Let sleeping dragons lie. We really, really should. Enter. Oh, you're starting up already, huh? He has many, many attacks. He's got range attacks. He's got fire attacks, magic attacks, poison attacks, which are actually venom attacks, technically. Attacks that turn off your prayer. Attacks that freeze you. And this guy. We're gonna go for a 3-to-1 ratio of brews to restores. So we need to take another hit before we worry about that quite yet. And then there's this. We have run on. Making mistakes. Alright. Back at it. Run off. Auto retaliate off. Let's stop messing up so badly. Also has a big fireball that he fires. We need to run away from that. Ideally, actually walk away from that. Like that. Also, at some point here, we can drink our first sip of anti-poison. Right now seems good. Only reduces the venom to regular poison, unfortunately. But it's at least something. Alright. Stats are fully boosted. So that's good. Looks like the poison's still doing a ton of poison damage. So that's unfortunate. What? Oh, you tried to use telekinetic grab. That's not right. Alright, we're just gonna walk around a bit. Ah. We're not off to a great start so far. We've done minimal damage. The poison's still hitting. Oh boy. Crumble undead this time. I actually used the right thing. Alright. It'd be nice if we could get some ruby specs. That'd be helpful. Now we're back to full venom. Great. Need to keep walking for this part, or we'll probably die. Alright. Half health. Making progress, kinda. Out. Crumble. Superstore. That's alright. Prayer back on. Superstore. Switch to Diamond Bolts. Not the prettiest Vorkath kill. That's for sure. But we're doing it. And that's what matters. I guess. There was a diamond spec. At least we have that going for us. Helping a little bit. And another one. Fantastic. Our anti-fire is about to expire. Don't want that. Let's not have that happen, shall we? Range is fine. Run away from that. Rune crossbow really does just not the ticket here. We can just about manage. Alright. Almost done. The Venom is kind of a problem. All the damage insects are doing. We don't have anti-venoms. We can't get anti-venoms. That's alright. We'll make it. Takes off the prayers attack. It's fine. $20 from the Venom. We got ourselves into a situation here. Ideally, we want a larger space to walk. But we can't always get what we want, can we? Stats are drained. Let's get them back up. Run away from Fireball. Heal. Crumble. 82 range. It's okay. Just 2 doses of brew here will be good. And there you go. 1 dead dragon. We can now move forward. We're also getting hit 19s by poison, so we should not move forward. Just confirm we can actually continue. And we need to deal with the poison. A absolutely hideous display. I will agree with that. But now, we can get past the dragon. It's been defeated. And we can get inside. But there's more things to worry about in there. So we need to re-gear a little bit. Potatoes and more super anti-poisons secured. We can head this way. We had a table with the same ancient symbol we saw over in Lithgren. Or at least similar. A dragon bitter on the ground. Hilarious. Because there's a dragon nearby. Get it? Are you bitter of your experience with the dragon? I don't know. Broken tower. And a cave entrance. Sure you want to go in here? Any items left in there will be lost forever. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good with that. In here, we have level 35 spiders, which are a problem. And a variety of machinery we can look at. Going to grab everything we can find. Eat some of our potatoes, unfortunately. All sorts of broken machinery. Ancient incubator. Everything just has little bits of notes for us. Which is fun. Get some information about what's going on down here. 6 notes in total. So let's go back outside where these spiders won't venom us. 1 dose to get back to poison, and a second to get it away. We do not have anywhere near enough super anti-poisons to deal with all the venom from Vorkath, so we just kind of dealt with it via brews. Well, that's alright. 6 old notes. There's a power on this island. Here. Ungale. The stone might have rested here. Or another of the wretched artifacts. Whatever it was, it's gone now. But the lingering power could be useful. They need to harness it. Another trial failed. But this time, 2 survived the process. Disappointing, though. Very strong, but not aggressive enough. Another Vorkath, a pathetic failure. And that is what Vorkath is. An unimpressive, failed experiment. Could have kept this one alive, because of how strong it was. But they were too angry, and they destroyed it. They've been messing with the spores also. But it hasn't been accomplishing much. Green failed, so they moved on to blue. There's no shortage of failed kin. Green dragons, blue dragons, Dragonkin. Not the failed kin. The Dragonkin aren't failed, just the dragons. But human forces are on the move. They found the island, but that's irrelevant. Their new facility is ready, and they're transporting everything over there. And that is what this Vorkath was for. Just a little distraction. It was a little bit more than a distraction for us, though. But we managed, just barely. Lithgren has been supplying the fungi that they needed for the trials. But there's another island nearby with a greater range. So they visited that to see if there was any secrets. But what they found was unexpected. Skeka. They thought that she fell to the humans, said she was there performing experiments. Tried to convince them to join their side. But for now, they've dismissed that idea, so the main island is off limits. And this facility here is a great improvement over the previous. The cold makes it easy to store samples, but getting new samples is a little trickier. Very far away from Lithgren, so the samples get lost or damaged. They're going to need more room, so they've constructed a new facility on Lithgren itself. A little bit too close by, but it's worth the risk for access to the samples. So they've been doing experiments on all sorts of stuff, cloning in blue dragons like Vorkath, but they all seem to keep failing. So, if this is what they consider failures, and they've got the main facility back on Lithgren, we will see how things are going to go. We need to get into the last room here. And to do that, we need to get it open with this lever. A random lever over in the corner. You pull it, hear a ticking noise, which opens this door. Just run on in here. We're going to find some stone chests. And drop all the notes, since we've found all that lore. We got some strange eggs that I still don't want to eat, I've decided. If we search the stone chest here, we find a piece of the key, and also another piece of a different key. We are just full up on keys, and it's fantastic. So that is the first piece done. We've got these brews and restores. out of the looting bag. But I probably want to put those back inside. For what we're doing next, brews and restores aren't necessary. So, just going to go get these noted back in the looting bag and stock up more on the potatoes. The next key piece we're after lies in a temple on the south shore of Karamja, in the Karazi jungle. Luckily this vine exists now, so we can just pop right in without having to worry about the dense jungle or bringing a machete or anything like that. Super convenient. And the temple is in this cave. What secrets lie within? Dangerous secrets. We got an empty plinth and a bit of a maze deal. No minimap, so that's fun. And high-level guardians in a multi-combat area. We're going to want to run past here, avoiding the guardians as much as possible, climbing over and disabling traps in our way. So we definitely want this to be as speedy as possible. So I'm going to wait for full run. This would be a time where bringing a stamina potion probably would have worked, but that's in the looting bag, so it's alright. Okay, well, let's get in here. We can tell what kind of guardian it's going to be by the color it is. This one's a little blue. Let's protect from magic. If it even sees us. And it did. That's alright. Walking over here. Run past this melee guardian. Looking for any traps. There it is. Stand the wrong way so he hits us anyway. Great. Let's disable auto retaliate. Messed up jumping across there. Great. We're trying. We're trying. This pathing is also kind of messing us up. That's okay. Then disable this trap. Get punched by this guardian a few times. Jump over here. Protect from range. Get stacked a whole bunch of damage. Definitely not a safe place to be, by any means. Come over here. Get hit again. Check the right thing at least. My goodness. The stuff we put up with. We can kind of see the trap based on a little indent in the wall there. So that's good. Useful. More magic attacks. We're only avoiding some of the traps, unfortunately. You'd think with our thieving and agility levels it'd be better, but I guess we're avoiding some of them, at least. So, that's okay. Things could be worse. I guess. Maybe. The amount of food we have looks like it's gonna be fine. Back from you. Switch to you. Take a bunch of damage. And around the corner. Take more damage again. And we're in. Take another bit here. And that's the next key piece. We can also activate this plinth, which now teleports us over here. So that's nice. So, no giant undead dragon with poison and fire and giant fireballs and all that craziness. Just a little bit of a maze. Some traps, some monsters. Can't complain. But now, we move on to the third piece. For the next bit, we need the Dragonstone. And that's, of course, in the looting bag. And so, the usual. Go stand in the wilderness, drop 30 mil on the floor, hope nobody shows up. The nature runes were in the looting bag because we put the chaos runes in the rune pouch in order to have Crumble Undead and Home Teleport available, just in case things got really dicey. And that all worked out. Wanted to do this one next, just for inventory sake. Probably could have done it second to not have the extra dragon key piece in the inventory. But this is fine. We'll get the looting bag back. And then we can make use of this Dragonstone. Along with a few other pieces. For the third piece, we need to start our search here at the Varrock Palace Library with Reldo. We're looking for the descendants of Tristan. Information about a 4th Age hero that fought alongside Robert the Strong, Tristan Corvo. Most people are more interested in Arav or Robert, so he doesn't come up too much. We need to know about his descendants. Originally, they were in this area. And Varrock has census records dating all the way back to Avaraka. Nothing from before that. Might still be worth a look, though. It's around here somewhere. The book is red. Reldo, famously not the best at remembering where the books are. It's the one red book. Varrock census records. Page after page of records. A thrilling read indeed. Reldo can peruse through this faster than we can. And so, the Corvo family. They were still here in Avaraka for most of the 4th Age. And the last entry is from 1770 of the 4th. So what happened? It doesn't say for sure, but that was around the time lots of people were moving to Mauritania. So maybe that's what they did. A lot of them ended up in Port Phasmatis, so we can check over there. And that is what the ectofile is for. Very convenient for getting over to Port Phasmatis. And since everyone here is ghosts, we need a ghost speak amulet. Luckily, we have them in our pants. Mauritania Legs 3. We're looking for someone with last name Corvo. And the ghost villager knows a Sarah Corvo. Next to the bank. Very helpful. Run on down to the south to talk to Sarah. Are you Sarah Corvo? That's her. Not many people interested in visiting these days. We are here on the hunt for a key piece. Originally from your ancestor, Tristan. But she can't help. The key is gone. Gone? Yes, gone. Her father passed it down to her and told her to keep it safe no matter what. But then the vampires came to Fort Phasmidus, so she buried it out in the swamps to stop them from getting it. So how do we get it back then? You don't. It's gone, and it's safer that way. It's just a lump of metal. Metal. Strange red metal. I think I might know just the scientist to help me with this. Time to visit Drainer Manor. What was that? Oh, nothing. Goodbye. We already technically know that it's probably going to be a piece of red dragony metal, based on the fact that we already have 2 chunks of the key. But having it confirmed from the person that had it last is helpful. Finding chunks of metal, we've got something that can do a similar thing to that. It's got a magnet in it, and you can tell it to stop grabbing random pieces of metal from around the area. What we need is a slightly more powerful version of that. So Ava should be able to help us with that. Into Drainer Manor, opening all the doors in the entire world. Going through a bookcase, which is just the best bedroom door you could ask for. And here's Ava. I need help with a key piece made of red metal buried in Mort Minor. And because Ava's made a metal attracting device before, that she can do it again. Pretty much. Should be doable. We're going to need a lot greater distance for the search. It's a different type of metal. And since it's red, it's probably orichalcum. Adventurers call it dragon. Quite rare. So there's a huge lump of that lying in the swamp. If we can detect it, should be pretty easy. She needs a cut dragonstone and 2 molten glass. Or we need to do it, maybe. Or she'll do it. Either way. We've got all the stuff. It's already here. About that key piece. After that orb yet? What? I make it. We have to make the orb, then she does something else. So that's fine. Molten glass, dragonstone, and inert locator orb. So what she has is the tuning to make it work. We give her the orb. She does some small adjustments, and it's done. We can track down the key with this. The orb will pull us in a direction, hopefully towards the key, but it is a bit unstable. And what do you mean by that? Just gonna sting a bit when you use it. Great. And upgrade my device? Maybe. The chicken is the weak part of our Ava's accumulator. We can find some kind of other undead creature. We could upgrade it. Something stronger. More undead. Okay. That is not a problem for right now. We've got an orb. And we have a swamp. Let's combine the two. Deep in the swamps. Let's start looking. Luckily, we have the fire that stops gas from attacking us, which is super convenient. So when we touch this, it tells us to go east, and does a whole bunch of damage. We run off to the east. Gonna get a decent distance. Not gonna really try to triangulate or anything. Just kind of give it a touch. Now it's southwest. So that's interesting. Go back a little bit from where we were. Not too far south, because it would have said southeast. And now it is northeast. We're getting there. We're getting there. Now it's just east. I'll have another snack. Northeast. West. South. Right here. And there it is. The third piece. This locator orb is pretty convenient for doing tons and tons of damage to yourself. So, in instances where that is helpful, we now have this available, which is nice. If we need another one, we can just get one back from Ava. Very, very convenient. But for now, we don't need it. And now, the final key piece. Kimura brought the final piece to the far west, and that is Zaya. So we took the main route here. We're going to talk to Camboy Herbert about the information we need. Prior to A Kingdom Divided, you would talk to Veos, which would make a bit more sense. They would know random ancient history. We have a very reliable cabin boy here who has heard of Kimura. What's a Kimura? Maybe not. An ancient hero over 1,000 years ago came over here at some point. An ancient hero? Should probably go ask the library historical archive. Talk to Archeo, and he can take us there. He might not know what we're talking about, but he at least has some useful insights of who might. Back into the archives with Archeo. This really is a very useful place. We need to talk to people in here. She's the library horologist. What's that? Measurements of time. Like how dates have been historically recorded. There's all this interesting date convention with Great Corrend. It's the number of days and decades since the Royal Accord of Twill was signed. Days and decades. That's a bizarre time convention. Most of the time, they just use the same date format as everyone else. But this is the historical archive, so appropriate. Let's ask about Kimura. An ancient hero, now we're saying from nearly 2,000 years ago. Traveled to Corrend during the Dragonkin conflicts. 2,000 years, huh? That's long before the founding of Corrend. They have very few records. So they can't help? They can't, but they might know who could. The 5 cities do predate Corrend. So they have their own historians that might have some information. Osidius and Shazian were around during the Dragon conflicts, so those would be the best choices to start with. The other cities were founded during the God Wars. So, where do we find the historians? There's Jonathan in the Hosidius house, and Amelia in the Shazian house. So let's go and talk to them. Amelia, right down here, very close to the lookout tower over there, where the Xerix talisman teleport. Have you heard of Kimura? Not that she remembers. Great hero during the Dragonkin conflicts, came over here. Shazian was founded around that time, and never been short of heroes. There's a good chance she was from Shazian. Never heard of her? That's not surprising, though. Much of the history was lost during Xerix's reign. There is somewhere we could look, though. And that is the Shazian crypts. They predate the kingdom, and the oldest heroes are buried there. But there's a catch. Oh yeah. For hundreds of years, the crypts have been overrun by the dead. Or rather, the undead, in this case. They've tried clearing them out, but they just keep coming back. Not afraid of no ghosts. No, they're zombies, not ghosts. We can enter the crypt in the Graveyard of Heroes, but we should be careful. I'm sure we'll be fine. We have potatoes. Yay. Not too far over here. Let's do run through town a little bit. Into the graveyard itself. And into the crypt. For this part, we need a candle. Or other light source. And much like we use an achievement diary piece as a ghost speak amulet, we've got some headgear that counts as a light. Down in here, we got skeletons and zombies. So, no ghosts, but still. And we need to run past them. Gonna use some steel skin, appropriate protection prayers, and just run. We got rangers. The melee ones we just kind of run past. They're not a huge deal. Get down to the next level. Just keep sprinting, because we need to get all the way to the bottom. And all the way to the bottom is over this direction. We're also running out of energy, which is obviously not great. Not what you want when you are running past scores of the undead. But we'll be okay. Just need to run past the melee ones. And our protect from range and magic defense of the D-Hide will carry us through. With a whole pile of skeletons trying to get us, we make it inside here, where we have a bit of a puzzle to do. Here lies Kimura Shazian, founder of Shazian House. My goodness. What a shame they've completely forgotten her. She was their founder. A lot of information was lost with Xeric, clearly. The plaque is loose, though. So we remove it, find a second inscription. One of the classic who came from where and had what and did what roundabout puzzles, riddles, where going through the whole thing tells you what order you need to place them in. Also tells a little bit of the story of when Robert, Kimura, Tristan, and Avis came together to plan their plan. Gives us bits of information. What town they were all from. Zartharim, Ceranthium, Arkney, and Carville. Which weapons they used. The crossbow, axe, bow, and sword. And where they sat around the table. They finished their plan and prepared to head and fight the Dragonkin. But who sat where? To answer the riddle, we take busts of each of the heroes here, and we need to place them on the correct plinth. There's only so many ways to order these and have the hints still work. So you can get a little bit systematic with it. With the information we have here, we can get it done. You can also get a few hints in here without actually going through the whole puzzle. If you remember the cutscene, which had them all in it, and which weapon they used. Because if you have that, it crosses off a lot of options. Also, it's random for every player, and if you fail, you get kicked out, and it's reset to a different one. So you can't just try to brute force it. I mean, you could try, but you're going to be running through this crypt a lot of times. So, probably don't. Probably don't do that. This time, it is Tristan to the north, Kimura to the east, Ivas to the south, and Robert to the west. Now we search the tomb and find the dragon key piece. Now we have them all. We're going to need to reforge it, which is easier said than done. Back to Lithcrin to show everything to Dallas. Bob has been chatting with him. Give him a cat speak amulet. How have we been doing? I've been traveling all over the world, collecting 4 pieces of this key. And we need to reforge it. It's made out of orichalcum, so a normal furnace will be completely useless. Any idea where we can find a hotter furnace? There was a forge built by the Dragonkin specifically for working with orichalcum. And this is located near some mithril dragons. I'll see what I can find. If you want mithril dragons, there is one place to go. Down under the whirlpool. Let's dive right in, shall we? We've got our anti-fire shield, so that'll be good enough. We're not spending a huge amount of time with the dragons. We just run past. Protect from magic will be beneficial, though. Brutal green dragons, or maybe just a water fiend will attack us. That works too. Up with the mithril dragons. The ancient key is made out of various metals, including mithril. Opens this door, and we are in. Where we find a mysterious orb and dragon head contraptions. This needs to be powered with some fire waves. light the Dragonfire. Always the right choice. You could also use Fire Surge if you had Wrath runes before completing this quest. Literally can't do that as an Iron Man. So here we are. And now we run back past some dragons. Everything's fine. Mithril dragons are not the most dangerous by a long shot. Now that we have the fire going, let's run over to the other side of the dungeon, of course, to the Dragon Forge. Dragon heads, now well heated, are pouring white hot molten magma. Hammer the key piece together at this very, very hot forge. And there is the Dragon Key. Very large and very one piece. Let's go put it in the door and see the world-ending super weapon. Sounds like a good idea. Here we go. Let's unlock the door. Fits perfectly. And in we go. Much larger area here. Found an old note. Work continues. They decide to explore a couple side projects. Try to infuse dragon eggs with metal. Is what 4K did. Hoping to find a solution to infertility. But they're more useful for war. Metal dragons. Definitely a danger. Got some barriers set up, which we can't pass. More machinery. And the big ticket. A dragon. Before we worry about that, let's see what other notes we can find. She came to Lithgren. Restricting her island wasn't enough. Now she wants everyone else to leave here. This was the Dragonkin that was on the main island nearby. They're safe from humans for now, but they will find this place. The only way forward is what they've been doing in here. Obviously. Here we have a strange machine, which we can see has the dig site pendant on it. So we need to use that to get access to the Lithgren teleport. But not yet. And that's all the notes we can find here. So let's talk to Dallas and Bob, who have just been waiting for us to patiently come over here and look at this dragon. We've made a huge mistake coming in here. Obviously. Obviously. Magnificent, isn't he? His name is Galvak. In our tongue it means fate. And here is a Dragonkin. Zorgoth. Bob remembers him. And Zorgoth recognizes Robert, even with his makeover. He should be dead. But Dragonkin aren't so flimsy. He survived. You're a Dragonkin. And I see you brought your friend, Bob. Surprised to see you here after all this time. Curious. Me? What? Hello there, Dragonkin. Dallas is very ready to go with this whole meeting a Dragonkin business. Who are you? Dallas Jones. He came for answers. What? What answers do you seek? The truth about Elvarg and Crandor. Those names mean nothing to him. Elvarg was a dragon that attacked Crandor. Little lair with a lab inside it. The clues led us here to you. And Zorgoth is surprised we bothered to give that dragon a name. She was nothing. A failed experiment that Zorgoth made after Bob's failed attempt to kill him. The war was going south, so they needed a new weapon. Elvarg was the first attempt to create a being so powerful it would destroy humanity. Not good enough. So they moved on. Every method ending in disappointment until they came here to work on their masterpiece. But we got here first. And by we, he means the group of 4 ancient heroes long ago. It was a setback. And after everything went south and they stole the key, they had this place sealed to keep the work safe. The other Dragonkin were supposed to come back after the attack to release him, but they're all dead. And he suspected as much. But it all worked out in the end. Zorgoth's been down here for hundreds of years without disturbance. Plenty of time to perfect their salvation. Galvek, indeed, has a power no other dragon has. Can influence the minds of other dragons. While each individual dragon is unimpressive and a failure to a Dragonkin's eyes, an entire army of them, that could do the trick. Retaliation for when humans tried to destroy them. But humans were just defending themselves. Zorgoth says that only some of the Dragonkin were the ones that were attacking, that fell into the anger of the curse. But humanity wouldn't stop and distinguish between the groups. Now neither will he. Humanity is a disease, and we have just unleashed the cure. Really think we're going to let you leave? You don't have a choice. Awaken. And Galvek blasts Dallas, instantly killing him. So we pick up Bob and run off. Here's Galvek. We'd better go. Jardrick comes in to see a giant dragon, shoots his crossbow, and if you're quick, you can see that hitting Galvek damaged Zorgoth. Jardrick survived, getting knocked aside, and Galvek and Zorgoth fled to the sky. They're out of here. We have a slight problem on our hands. The Dragonkin said he's going to assemble an army of dragons. This is really too much for us to deal with. we need some help. King Roald has one of the largest armies in the world. Probably a good starting point. Let's go see the king. And Jardrick will head to Keldagrim. See if they can get help there. So we will remove ourselves from this mess of a place. The doors are broken, and I don't want to go back in there right now. So what we need to do is go talk to the king. Hey, King Roald. I hate to barge in your clear holiday festivities, but we have a dragon problem. The dragons have been spotted flying around all over the place. People are investigating, making sure the citizens are safe. But I know what's going on. There's a Dragonkin who has gotten all the dragons under his control, forming an army to attack humanity. The Dragonkin have been dead for hundreds of years, though? Yep. You thought that. But it's the truth. There is at least one left. We've proven ourselves to be a friend of Varrock, so he'll trust us. We need to gather the soldiers to take down the dragon army. And of course, Eonsig is not happy about having the army do things. But we have no choice. This isn't Mauritania. There is no Gathixian edicts stopping us from fighting the dragons. King Roald will make preparations, but we need to head to other leaders and get them to lend their aid. King Lathis, Chieftain Brunt, and Sir Amicvars. We're going to ally with the barbarians now? Zerhoman's sake, my man. They've got ships and soldiers. We need all the help we can get. And King Lathis is also a little bit suspect. But it's really time to put disagreements aside. We work together, or we die. Let's get going. Ceramic, the dragons. The dragons flying around. We know what's going on. It's a Dragonkin, making an army to destroy us all. Everybody thinks the Dragonkin are dead. Not the case. A formidable enemy indeed. We have a plan. King Roald's working on it. Got the army. We need to head to Varrock for discussions. And he will head over. Brunt. I'm here about the dragons. They've been flying towards Ungale. We should probably stay away from there. Yeah, about that. We're gonna take the beasts on. This is probably too much even for us, though. Heavily outnumbered. And that's why we're not gonna do it alone. We got King Roald, Ceramic. We need your help too. Typically, they don't like to fight alongside Outerlanders. But this is a much greater threat. And the Fremnik are always up for a good fight. They'll show the Outerlanders a thing or two about being warriors. We're all meeting in Varrock. Hopefully, it's not too long of a meeting. We have dragons to kill. Lathis. The dragons. You know, all the dragons all over the place. It's a Dragonkin. And yes, they exist. The forces will fight back against this threat, but you don't need to fight alone. We've got everyone else over in Varrock to make a plan. They have no quarrel with Misthalin, so they accept. See you in Varrock. And that should be everybody. Let's get into this meeting. Head into the dining room when we're ready. We've got all kinds of people here. We got Bob and Jardrick, Ketis from the Heroes Guild, Duke Horatio of Lumbridge, King Roland and Ansing from Varrock, the Wise Old Man, Sir Amic of the White Knights, Sir Tiffy of the Temple Knights, King Lathitz of Ardoin, Brunt from Releka, the Oneiromancer of Lunar Isle, King Arthur from Camelot, and Denolth from Berthorpe. This is one of the greatest threats we've ever seen. We have to come to a decision and find a solution. Take these dragons head on and destroy them. The horrors of war are not something to merely jump into. And what would you do? Cower in fear while the dragons annihilate everyone? Enough. War may be the only option here. The Dragonkin are merciless. Sir Tiffy looked up some information about the Dragonkin and agrees. War is inevitable here. Denolth thinks maybe it was a mistake. Probably just hopes it was a mistake. But it's no mistake. Definitely a Dragonkin. And the Oneiromancer can read minds, so yep. That checks out. There's some animosity going around in this room, but we can worry about that later. We need to work together if we're going to live. The dragons are amassing at Ungale. Take the fight there and destroy them before they even leave the island. Keep the fight away from the civilian populations. But it's also in boats against dragons. But it's probably our best chance. Amass the fleets? Indeed. What are our thoughts on this plan? Good plan. Then we all agree. We got some of the most powerful people in the world here. Heroes and rulers from all the lands. We're all that stands in the way of annihilation. We've got our checkered history, but we will work together this time. We can join the fight with Torfin back in Releka. He can bring us to the fleet, and then we can sail. But before we do that, Bob wants to have a word. What do you want, Bob? We need to talk about Zorgoth. Dragonkin are not easy to kill. Immune to most weapons. We can kill any dragons we want, but the battle won't be over till Zorgoth is dead. And the plan involves what we saw back in Lithgren, when Jardrick shot Galvek, and it did damage to Zorgoth. They are linked. Galvek is the weak link. So, slay Galvek won't be easy. No, it will not. But we should head to Releka and join the fleets. Bob is coming with us. He can't fight, but he might still have some more insights on Dragonkin that could help. And this is partially his fault, so he wants to put it right. So we head to Releka to join the fleet against an army of dragons and a Dragonkin. Defeat the ultimate Doomsday weapon and save the world. Next time. Goodbye.